Now with half of the playing field gone, only 16 teams are left vying to get a hold of the Naismith Trophy. The second round of the FIBA World Cup tipped off earlier today. So let's have an all-out preview with former Philippine National Team player and Sports Desk basketball analyst, one of the best point guards to ever play for the Philippines. Point laureate, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc, nag-iisa. Papa Ron, magandang gabi.
Good evening, Dre.
Always. Long time no see.
Oo. Sobra.
Vroom.
Grabe.
Papa Ron, okay. Vroom na tayo dito. Before we go to our second round preview, pag-usapan muna natin ang Gilas Pilipinas. Siyempre, heartbreaking para sa ating mga Filipino basketball fans. But they still have one more game against China. So after winless in the tournament for 4 games, failing to get that outright Olympic spot, is it all lost para dito sa Gilas Pilipinas?
Well, I'd like to take a look at the bigger picture. No?
Okay.
So, World Cup, Olympic slot. Now, I think we're eyeing a possible Olympic qualifying tournament, of which alam ko may dalawa pang natitira. Mm-hmm. And then you also have to look down the road at the Asian Games. So, these are several things that they are still in control of. So, I'm sure dun nakatingin ang mga manlalaro, maging si Coach at ang coaching staff dahil kung titignan mo lang yung nangyari, medyo mahirap at mabigat. Pero kung may intindihan mo na may pwede pa namang mangyari, I think that is what's more important.
And we will be facing China.
Tomorrow.
China nanalo din against Angola. Siyempre, momentum not on our side. Pero siyempre, dyan pa rin ang crowd eh. Diba? Dito
Yes.
pa rin. Fearless forecast, what did you think yung kaya natin dito against China? It's not the China of old, yung mga, diba? But what do you think, Coach?
We have to start out really well because yesterday against South Sudan, we played an outstanding fourth quarter. But when you fall behind by that much in the first 2 quarters, kahit na nalimit mo sila sa 9 or 10 points in the third, mahirap bumalik kasi hindi naman sila napapagod. Ay hirapan, pero I just came from the arena, hindi sila napapagod eh. Diba? So if we start out well, I think that augurs well for the Gilas Pilipinas unit tomorrow against China.
Well, let's talk about now. Ito na nga, round of 16 na tayo. Half na yung nawala dito sa 32 teams, down to 16. Group I tayo. Let's talk about the team na nakaging ka-group natin nung unang phase, yung Dominican Republic. We know they're solid, but not a lot of people expected na Italy pa nga dapat magsisweep nung group stage na yun. Ito ang group I natin, ang Italy, Serbia, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. We see so far Italy dahil nanalo nga thanks to Simone Fontecchio, 3-1, ta Serbia, 3-1, and then Dominican Republic, they will face Puerto Rico. But your thoughts, Coach? Alam natin, Carl Anthony Towns, but did you expect Dominican Republic to be this good and solid as a team?
I thought that Italy was the heavy favorites heading to that matchup.
Yeah.
But I had the chance to be there up close and see what really happened. It was a bad game para sa Italy. They were able to recover, but by the time they were able to fight back, they were down by 15.
Oh, malaki na eh.
Actually, 1 possession away sila eh. Pero it did help them na na-eject yung kanilang coach na kung saan doon sila talaga kumukuha ng aggression, ika nga. So, did I expect Dominican Republic to sweep? Not at all. I thought that Italy would prevail. But during the course of the match, tinambakan ng Italy ang Dominican Republic sa simula. But in the next 2 quarters, totally different because 3-point shooting was the best shooting day for DR. And then the leadership of Carl Anthony Towns. I think that so far has been the biggest difference kasi magaang siyang kasama. Saka nagbibigay ng lakas na tapos hindi pikon.
Actually, his teammates love him, his coach loves him.
Yes.
And we just had him on the show 2 days ago. I love talking to the guy, yung mindset, yung I wish lang he could post up more often kasi malaki siyang tao pero may shooting naman mula sa labas. Pero I like the demeanor of Carl Anthony.
Point shooting siya.
Pero kung ganyan ang dami mong mismatch sa loob, niloloko ko.
Pero meron siyang isang pag kinakailangan, papasok siya
sa loob.
Pero ang feeling kasi niya, sa tingin ko, hindi siya babantayan sa labas.
Iiwan siya eh.
Nasushoot naman niya. So, saka na, pag kinakailangan.
Tama. Speaking of shooting, etong Italy nga, kakapanalo lang kanina. Tumama din yung shooting nila. Tinalo ang Serbia. Isa din na matinding, mabigat din na kalaban. Yes, walang Jokic. Wala yung mga ibang player. Pero kahit na, matindi pa rin ang Serbia. Your thoughts on Italy?
Kahit na. Very surprised. But given the playing schedule, one. Number two, yung parity. No? Yung parity. I think, in spite of the fact na ang Italy, wala na sila Bellinelli, sila Gallinari, at hindi naglaro si Paolo Banchero sa kanila, hindi naman so-so yung mga players. These are players who are playing as reinforcements abroad. And they also have an NBA player in their own right na magaling din talaga. So, any team can beat anybody on a certain night, on any given night. Walang heavy favorites dito. So nakikita ko talaga even deeper into the competition.
And syempre, as it gets deeper, paunti yung teams, the competition gets tougher.
One may should die.
Yes.
Sink or swim kada gabi.
Coach Ron, your top 2 teams, sige. Who will advance, in your opinion, to the knockout rounds? Ito, Italy, ito yung graphics natin. Is it Italy and DR, Italy and Serbia, or sige, pick 2 teams, Coach, na dahil magiging down to 8, sino ang lalabas from Group I?
I believe that Serbia will still be able to move forward, and Dominican Republic.
Wow, Serbia and the DR will move on to the Elite 8. Okay, Papa Ron, pag-usapan natin ang ibang groups naman. Siyempre, may dami pa natin, may Group J din tayo.
Apat pa. So, tapos na isa. Kasi dati 8 di ba? So, pakonti ng pakonti. In 2 days, quarterfinals na.
Pag-usapan din natin, syempre, ang Team USA looking good so far. Lahat ng yan sa aming pagbabalik. Stay where you are, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. But we'll talk about, how about this, Luka Doncic and Slovenia, SGA, and Team Canada, along with the rest of groups J, K, and L. Let's take a really quick time out. Stay tuned to Sports Desk, only here on CNN Philippines, where we go all out for today's top sports stories. We'll be right back with Coach Ron in a bit. Welcome back to Sports Desk, only here on CNN Philippines. And we still have with us today the point laureate and PBA basketball legend, Sports Desk basketball analyst, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc. And Coach, we're having this preview of the second round of the FIBA World Cup. Team USA! Okay, Group J, they will face tougher competition dito. Lithuania, Montenegro, and Greece. But earlier today, nalamangan pa nga sila ng Montenegro, pero they eventually pulled off 85-73. Your thoughts on this, dahil sabi nga, coming into this tournament, wala yung mga bigger names, wala yung mga top tier. Puro mga rising stars, mga bata, and then you have very grabbing coaching staff. May Steve Kerr, Ty Lue, mayroon ka pang Eric Spoelstra. But your thoughts on this Team USA so far, a really young but talented team?
I think they're headed straight to the quarterfinals. Yung magiging draw sa quarters, dun magkakatalo. Dahil in 2019, pumasok naman pero nagtapos sa pang-7 pwesto. So, dun sa knockout phase yun talagang pinakamabigat. Because definitely, they will make it to the quarters. Yung makakatapat, yun ang ating abang.
How about Greece? Kausap ko yung coach nila kagabi.
Tall order.
Dimitris Itoudis. Walang Giannis Antetokounmpo. It would have been different if the other Antetokounmpos were there in this team and some other players na wala din dito sa Greece team. But your thoughts on Greece so far, Coach?
I thought that their best game was against New Zealand. Down 15, won and made it to the second round. But it's going to be uphill for them just to make past this group and head into the last 8.
Lithuania won by an average of 25 points.
They will make it.
Ganun kasimple.
They will
make it. Okay. Nikola Vucevic is the anchor of Team Montenegro. He's an all-star center for the Chicago Bulls. Kanina, it was a good game.
Yes.
They gave a good fight. You actually covered that game. Yes. Your thoughts on this Montenegro team?
Almost is not enough. Yun ang naintindihan ko sa international basketball.
Can they make it all the way to the quarterfinals, you think?
Might be hard for them.
Okay.
Kasi talo na sila ng 2. Ang US, wala pang talo. Lithuania, tinalo sila. So, I think it's going to be difficult for them to make it to the next
Top 2 teams.
2 lang
So, sino sa tingin mo?
US and Lithuania.
US and Lithuania ang lalabas mula sa Group J. Ito nakikita natin. So, US and, ito nga, sila na yung top 2 so far. 4-0 USA, 3-0 Lithuania, 2-2 Montenegro, and 2-1 ang Greece. It would have been different, again, if nandun yung Antetokounmpo sa Greece.
Iba yun.
Mas iba ang usapan natin. Ngayon, pag-usapan natin, ito. Actually, excited na maraming mga Pilipino na
naantay ko rin siya
na maka-advance ang Slovenia sa top 8 dahil gaganapin dito.
Sa MOA Arena.
Siyempre, Luka Doncic and Slovenia. Hanggang saan kayang dali ni Luka Magic ang kanyang bansang Slovenia?
Ako, katulad ng maraming Pilipino, gusto ko makarating sila sa quarters. And I think they have an even chance, no? I feel that they will pull through this time, but barely. But I still feel that they will make it to the quarters.
May Group K na tayo ang pinag-uusapan
Malakas
natin.
yan eh.
Malakas to, may Germany pa.
Yes.
Actually, Germany is sa mga concern.
Unbeaten.
Sinabi nila Grant Hill because they actually, during the friendlies against USA, lumamang pang Germany, di kita nyon. Germany is a really tough team and they will play Slovenia on Sunday. They beat Georgia earlier today. What do you think of Dennis Schroeder, Daniel Theis, and this really tough Germany team?
Not just those two, but the way they have been playing together and
Wagner brothers.
complementing each other, right? I believe that Slovenia and Germany will be the ones to make it to the quarterfinals.
And Georgia, are you surprised na nakapasok sila dito second round?
No. Very difficult to face this team, but this is already a different level when you get to the second round. Eventually, yung higher level players, that's one. Number two, yung veteran experience that should be factored in.
How about Australia? Actually, Australia, isa din sa may mga NBA players. You have Josh Giddey,
marami.
you have Matisse Thybulle, Patty Mills, Joe Ingles. Obviously, this team is a loaded team. Coach Brand Gurjan, wala yung Ben Simmons, but still, this is a very competitive team. Hanggang sana nakikita mo sa Australia.
Aabot.
Quarters.
Aabot. Definitely aabot. Nadisgrasya lang eh. Nadisgrasya, pero yung composition. And I've always liked Patty Mills and Joe Ingles. And then the youth factor or the youth brigade led by Josh Giddey. Mabigat eh. Ang question lang, pag natapat sa mga mabibigat.
Mas mabibigat.
Kasi na-expose sila nung pagkatalo nila.
Ito, tingnan natin. I think I know the answer here. But the top two, pakita natin. Ito, Germany, Slovenia, Georgia, Australia. This is really, really tough, especially for teams like Georgia and Australia. Your top two teams that will advance.
Germany. Okay. And yung bilanggit ko kanina.
Slovenia.
Luka
Doncic. Gusto makilala ni Coach Ronnie.
Gusto ko siya makita eh.
Ako din naman eh. Bayakapin ko pa si Luka Doncic.
Kasi nakita ko lang si Paolo Banchero, nagulat ako sa sobrang laki.
So what more, like if we see like a Luka Doncic?
I just want to see him up close.
Yeah.
Why is he such a special player?
Yeah.
Yung makita mo lang.
Tama, in person, no? After team, okay.
Sunduin natin.
After Team USA, Coach Ronnie, both analysts and odds makers saying Canada is the second strongest choice to win the World Cup. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dillon Brooks, RJ Barrett. Actually, yung starting five nila, puro NBA yan eh. May off the bench ka pa na Lou Dort. Tapos yung big man nila si Powell nandun din. Si Olynyk. This is a really good Canada team.
And that's not a sprinkle of NBA players, but that's a multitude of NBA talent. The only big question right now that I have is pagdating dun sa dulo. Pagdating sa dulo.
You don't think the SGA can take command and be that guy in the clutch?
I know that he's a very good player, individually. Now the question is, can he lead this team?
May RJ Barrett pa pala. May Barrett din na...
Ang dami niyan. But you cannot overlook Spain also. Na mas kinatalo sa Latvia, contender pagdating sa mga deeper part ng competition kasi marunong manalo.
Yun nga, Spain, defending champs, losing to Latvia. Your thoughts on that?
Latvia beat France a couple of days ago. Latvia was blown out also before this match. Latvia, walang pressure eh. And right now, there is pressure on the teams that are highly favored. Kaya yung Montenegro, laro lang eh. Laro lang. Kaya muntik nila madisgrasya yung USA eh. Pero ito, pag walang pressure, mas madaling manalo. Pag may pressure, napakahirap.
That's actually a good point.
Napakahirap.
Tingnan natin, Coach, ang Group L and who will make it to the last 8. Sinong dalawa dito? Mabigat din tong group na to. You have Brazil, Canada, Spain, Latvia. Who are your top two?
Sa akin, Canada and Spain.
Canada and Spain.
Canada and Spain.
Wow. So that will be a really good Elite 8. Abangan natin yan. And maraming salamat. Happy weekend sa'yo, Papa Ron. Always
Likewise.
a pleasure having you here on the show. And we'll definitely see more of you. Ano, Coach?
Ingat ka.
Pakita natin si Papa Ron. Ano?
Ingat ka sa...
Okay. Vroom, vroom. Again, that was one and only Sports Desk basketball analyst, Coach Ronnie Magsanoc, the point laureate, who helped us preview the second round groupings of the 2023 FIBA World Cup. Meanwhile, four-time NBA champion Klay Thompson and legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao went head-to-head. On what game? Well, you'll find out when we return. You're watching Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned.